Hello everybody. I just have an interesting question in my mind that I have to ask. What happens to all builders? Um, Coming from my own point of view, I would have started work in the building industry when I was 15 years old. They released me from school because I was just too smart. I'd learned everything, so that was it. I had to leave school at that point at 15. But can somebody in the building industry who's plastering a wall or roofing or roof tiling or concreting, can somebody like that actually work on till they're 66 years old? Now, I know the powers that be demand that everybody works on and used to be able to retire at 65 and so on, but can actually somebody in the building industry, and I'm just mentioning the building industry because I have a lifetime of experience in it, can they actually work on till 65 years old? Is it a doable thing? I mean, it's debatable, even in jobs that aren't quite as physically demanding, maybe the likes of, we'll say, a plumber, where he's not carrying or pulling a lot, but at the same time he's getting up and getting down and kneeling and trying to handle small pieces of equipment in freezing cold weather. Can somebody like that work on till they're actually 65 years old? Or 60, yeah, it's not 65, oh, sorry, 66 years old. Is it a reasonable thing to ask them to do? We understand, look, if you're an office worker, and hey, I'm not running down office workers by any means. They do a valuable work in our community and in our country. Possibly, good chance they can work until 66 years old, but the people who are really shoveling concrete, who are doing the hard physical slog on a daily basis to put houses up in our country, we've seen what happens when people don't put houses up in our country, what happens to the young people, what happens to the economy as such. The country, if the builders in Ireland were not building houses, and the men of Ireland were not plastering and block laying and doing carpentry, Ireland wouldn't be a country worth living in. It would diminish the value of our country entirely. I don't know if any of this is taken into account. Speaking from my own perspective, I started when I was 15 years old. I worked extremely hard through the years. Of course, everything completely fell apart in 2008. So, I mean, there was a disaster in 2008 when the whole thing came apart. And we could go into how it affected our lives, and it was horrendous, people who were in business and tradesmen and everything, the way they were affected. And I know my story isn't unique in any way, shape or form. There's lots of people who've put their story up on YouTube and various platforms, but it was horrendous what happened. But the question I'm asking now, can people, men, let's face it, it's men. There's not many block layers and plasterers out there who are women. I'm sure there are a minority who work from their teens, work on till 66 years old, shoveling concrete, plastering or roofing. Is it a reasonable thing to ask? Just an interesting question.